A very good evening to one and all gathered here. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce to you all Shilpa Srinivas, a corporate trainer and a motivational speaker. She has done her master's in microbiology and has emerged as the college topper. She was the president of the Student Association and the editor of the monthly magazine Pro, where she undertook many new initiatives. She was selected as the research assistant in one of the top institutes of Asia, Indian Institute of Science, and has worked in the supercomputer research department of IIS. In the corporate world, she has worked with the leading software company Infosys. She has international exposure, having lived in London for more than 6 years. Worked as a manager in a leading business enterprise, the Microline Private Limited, in West London. Worked in the operation department in the top UK government firm, the Royal Mail. After returning to India, she discovered her deep-rooted passion for training. To date, she has trained more than 10,000 people in different fields. Some of her clients include bank managers, government officials, teachers. She has executed turnkey projects like Naipunnya Nidhi for the government of Karnataka. She has traveled extensively within India and has conducted many such lively training sessions. She also has a deep concern for underprivileged and dedicates some of her time to uplift and upskill them. She is associated with NGOs like Prerna, a sister concern of Infosys Foundation, where she has trained thousands of students to make a difference in the society. A recent feather in her cap is her English videos going viral on YouTube and helping people across many countries. She is a certified trainer from UPW, Unleash the Power Within, program of Tony Robbins, #1 motivational speaker in the world. So here I present Shilpa ma'am, who is determined to bring out the best in us.
Hi, friends. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you, Ria. Thanks for that wonderful introduction.
Thank you.
All right. So it's a nice evening spending with all of you. I am looking forward to this session. Is it possible to have an interactive session? Can we interact? Can we converse each other? I mean, is the chat box open?
Yes, ma'am. They can type their, it can be interactive session.
All right. I mean, some of you can come on video, interact with me, say hello, good evening, so that I get to know. Yeah. Is this all students? Like all students are attending this session?
Yes, ma'am.
And what background? Are they MBA students or what is their
From
background?
graduate and postgraduate both.
Okay, okay. All right, fine. All right. Good evening, Akhil, Akash, Devesh, Gokul, Aishwarya, Krishna, Sayani, Sandeep, each one of you. Yeah. A very happy evening. And it's wonderful to interact with all youngsters today because you are the future of India. And today we have a very interesting topic to discuss. Yeah, I'm sure you've been hearing about this word, especially, once you step into the college, you've been hearing that, your communication has to be wonderful. You have to be good in communication if you want to succeed. You have to be good in expressing yourself, in conveying your ideas, and in conveying your thoughts to others, right? So today we're going to deal about this wonderful topic. And as you all know, it is communication skills. So are you all good to go? Are you all ready to go ahead with it? So come on, video, give me a thumbs up or chat, type it in the chat box. Type it in the chat box. Yes, yes, we are ready. Yeah, I want to see that enthusiasm. I want to see that energy from you. Yeah, good to go. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Krishna. Thanks to each one of you. Well, especially in your student life, this is the golden life where you will have to hone your skills, and get ready to face the real world. Get ready to face the challenges once you step into your real world. So, for that, the prime most criteria is being perfect in communication. Okay. We all know how to speak, right? And we assume that speaking is communicating. How many of you agree with me? How many of you agree with me saying that, yes, speaking is communicating? Yeah. Type I in the chat box. Yes, you're right, Mihir. If you think speaking is communicating, yes, Akhil, you're right. Yes, Sayani. Yes, Chauhan. We all believe that speaking is communicating. And you know what? 70% of our waking up time we spend in communicating. In communicating. 70% of our waking up time. Can you believe that? Now we are going to make it very perfect. If we are communicating 70% of the times, then better get it right. And if that is the only way to success, we have to get it right. Isn't it, my friends? So let me share my screen and let me go ahead with the session. Okay. Can I share the screen? Okay. Yes, I have. Can you all look at the screen, my friends? Give me a thumbs up if you can.
Yes, ma'am, your screen is visible.
Okay, thank you. Now, this is a beautiful saying. Let me read it out for you. I'm sure you all can read it, and I want you to read it loudly wherever you are sitting. Yeah, this has a deep effect. When you read things loudly, you can listen to it. You're also reading and you're listening to your own voice, so it has a double impact. So please go ahead and read it loudly. The capacity to learn is a gift. The ability to learn is a skill. The willingness to learn is a choice. It's a famous saying by Brian Herbert. But look at the words, which are so powerful. You know, if you have the capacity and to learn, and if you have the ability to learn, that's not enough. You have to have the willingness to learn. And that's your choice, completely your choice, my friends. You might be knowing everything, you might be having so many resources to learn, but you should be willing to go ahead and absorb everything, right? So you're all ready to make that choice today. And because you have made that choice, we are going ahead and learning the most important thing, that is communication skills. Yes, I think we've all heard about the definition of communication in our own ways, right? We know communication is sending ideas. We know communication is about talking, but it's also a lot more than that. I'll come to it. This is the general definition. It's about there is a sender and there is a receiver, okay? And the sender is sending ideas to the receiver, and the receiver is receiving all the ideas, is taking all the ideas. But there is a small catch. That is not communication. That is not complete communication. And sometimes, yes, the sender can be one person, the receiver can be many persons. Like, for example, in this session, I'm giving the ideas, I'm the sender. Now, you are all receiving the ideas. So, it's a group of receivers, right? It can happen from one person to many people. Now, when there are many receivers and when I'm trying to send the message, the cycle of communication is not complete just by doing so. There is a small catch. Can anyone guess? Can you type it in the chat box? Any guesses? When does the communication cycle complete? Because I want to know whether all of you are with me. Are you all able to understand what I'm trying to teach you? Okay, that's a good one. Follow up, feedback, excellent. Anything else? That's very good. Well, let me tell you what the catch is. The person who is receiving it should understand it in the same way as the sender is trying to tell. Yes, of course, feedback is important, as you all rightly put it. Feedback is, it can be yes, we are with you, or just a nod or a smile. It can be anything. But when you are understanding exactly what I'm trying to tell, then that is where the communication cycle is complete. So we have underlined the word same. Okay, so it becomes very, very important. If you want your communication to be effective, to be powerful, and the communication cycle to be complete, the opposite person has to understand it in the exact way as you are trying to convey. Now, if you want to understand the importance of what I'm trying to tell you, I'm sure you all have had experienced some misunderstandings in your life. It can be with your parents, with your friends, with your neighbors, or with people surrounding you. Sometimes there will be minor or major misunderstandings. Now, why do you think that happens? When this cycle is not complete, when the opposite person, when the receiver does not understand it the same way as you are trying to convey. We will come to the details of it. But please keep in mind, my friends, it's very important for you to communicate in the same way. And of course, as someone put it across, take a feedback. Like once you have told them something, you can ask them to repeat it. Like, did you get my point? Can you please tell me what you have understood? Can you repeat it to me? That will avoid misunderstandings in an enormous way. Okay, so make sure they understand it the same way you want to communicate, because that is when the communication cycle is complete. As important as the feedback is, it is equally important for the receiver to understand it in the same way. Yeah, got it, my friends? Now we will put it in a very short and crisp way. Communication is the human connection. It is the key to personal and professional success. Yeah, one word, it defines it all. Personal and professional success. People who are very good communicators in their personal level can always be successful in their professional level as well, or vice versa. Because to be successful in any field, it is very, very important to be a very good communicator. I mean, you can make out successful people when you observe them. You can make out very easily. They're very clear when they speak. They have clarity of ideas, clarity of thoughts, and clarity of words to express. It's very important, that connection of what you think and what you express. And when there is a gap between your thoughts and expressions, then of course there will be a gap in understanding as well. So how to perfect it? How to make it clear so that we can be successful in whatever we want to do? Okay. Yeah, I want to know how many of you appreciate this fact that communication is the key to become successful in personal life and professional life. Type I in the chat box. Yes, ma'am, that is the fundamental thing. You might have subject knowledge. You might be very good at it. But if you are poor in communication, there are many times I've heard that they have been rejected in getting a good job, and they have been rejected admissions in good universities, good colleges, right? So it's very, very important. So do you appreciate this fact? Well done, well done. Thanks for your reviews. Thanks for your honest answers. Now, let's get a brief idea about the purpose of communication. These are just the general ideas. Yeah, we want to receive and we want to give information. So that is why we communicate. Yes, sometimes we want to persuade or influence people. I mean, if you remember, if there is a 5 days trip to Goa from your college and this is your final sem, you want to go there, you know how to persuade your parents, you know how to convince them, or you know how to influence your friend who is not agreeing to accompany you, who is not willing to come with you, join you in the trip. So you know how to do all that. And that is also the purpose of communication, to ensure understanding, as we've been talking, to convey your feelings, your opinions, your perceptions, your ideas. So, I mean, in general, to convey your thoughts in the form of feelings, in the form of opinions or ideas. And yes, to establish interpersonal skills. If you want to have good relationship with people around you, with your friends, with your family, with your colleagues, yes, you need to have good communication. To improve public relations, if you are a leader in the becoming, if you want to be a future manager, if you want to have if you want to develop the leadership skills, then communication is one of the key skills which you need to possess. To start action and implement activities. Yeah, once you've taken responsibility of something and you want to implement it, you need to be a powerful communicator. It also provides therapeutic effect. Can someone tell me, throw some light, like why have I added this point? To provide therapeutic effect. Any idea about it? Yeah, I'll come back to my slides. Let us have some interaction. Can someone unmute themselves and tell me, like, how can it provide a therapeutic effect? Come on, friends. I want you to talk to me. I want you to interact with me. Anything you feel about, there are no right and wrong answers. Everything is right in its own way, right? So, how do you think communication will provide a therapeutic effect? Expression of feelings, okay? Let me give you a small example. Have you been reading about teenagers committing suicides in newspapers every day? You know, girls running away from houses or boys committing suicides. They do not have anybody to talk to. They cannot express their feelings, and they are not having that confidence that others will understand their feelings, they'll understand their emotions. And that is why today we have counselors almost in every street. People want to go to counselors and talk to them to get that, you know, assurance, to get that confidence that yes, someone is there to listen to me. And just because these poor people, these poor teenagers especially, they do not have a listening ear, they do not have anybody to talk to, they are taking the extreme step of taking their own life, right? So communication has got a therapeutic effect. It's about expressing your feelings, and it's also about listening to others' feelings. So that's a very divine thing, and we have to adopt it. Fine. About listening, I'll come to it. It's a very beautiful communication skill. And right now, let me just go back to my slides. So that's where I have put therapeutic effect, because that is one of the prime most importance of having good communication. Now, these are the major four circles of communication, or I would say four skills of communication. We think only speaking is communication, which is not true at all. That is the general perception people have. Okay. Now, the first and prime most branch of communication is thinking. Can you believe, my friends, only humans have the capacity to think? No other animal, no other bird, no other insect can think and then talk something, do something. Of course, only humans can express. They can express through words. And through civilization, we have developed a language for expression. But thinking is what differentiates us from the rest of the species. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with me? All of you? Yeah? Type agree in the chat box. Of course, it's a basic question. And I'm sure all of you agree with me. Then why is it that we cannot think and speak? We cannot think and answer, think and question, think and write. Why is it that we cannot use that special skill which is a gift to us, which is given to us by God? Why are we not able to use it efficiently? Don't we understand the importance of that ability which we have? Thinking is a wonderful capacity. Okay. Whenever we think and answer, whenever we think and write, the output is always phenomenal. It comes out great. Yeah. Today, I have thought about this plan. My daily routine, I have thought about it. I have a mental plan and I'm going to go accordingly. How many of you, when you do this, you are having a better day? When you think and do something, when you have a mental plan, then your day gets better. How many of you have experienced this, felt this? Yeah, put it in your chat box as agree. So thinking has got enormous benefits. Let me just give you a small example. This is a small story of a of a small village where the parents were farmers and they had a small girl child who was studying in the local village school. And with all the love and affection she was receiving from her parents, she was a very bright student. She used to study very well. She used to always top her school, in all the grades. And then after high school, she went on to the nearby city to do her intermediate, her college, PUC, or whatever you want to call it. Then after that, she was extremely brilliant, and again she topped in her intermediate as well. She wanted to join the Internship program, and they bid goodbye to her, and they said, please take care, we'll not be there with you every day, take care of yourself, eat properly. That's what generally parents do, right? That's what all the parents do. Like, they are always worried about the children's health, children's safety and all that. And they told her all the general rules, and they told her, we're going to miss you so much, but it's okay, it's for a bigger cause. You always wanted to do your engineering, and with a lot of difficulty, of course, farmers, where will they get so much money from? But again, with a lot of help taken from others, they could finally help their daughter achieve her dreams. So they bade goodbye to her, and they went back to their village. And this girl, though she was homesick, she tried to cope with it, and she started attending her classes. And to her, bewilderment, she was not able to understand even a single word of what was being taught, because till then she was studying in a vernacular medium school and college. Yeah, she was studying the regional language. And now suddenly she's admitted to an English medium college. She's not able to understand a single word. Being one of the brightest student in her school and college days, she started feeling that fear. Oh my God, what's happening? I'm not able to understand anything. And obviously, what will happen? First semester, with lot of difficulty and with help from her hostel mates and everybody, she was just able to score the passing marks. And she started feeling humiliated. She started feeling, is this me? What is happening to me? She felt very depressed, very sad. And then second semester, somehow it started, and she went back to her college, and she started sitting through all the classes very dutifully. She wanted to be very regular, and she started attending all the classes. And second semester, there was again change of lecturers. A new lecturer walked in, and due to some reason, she was just 5 minutes late to the class that particular day. The lecturer had already arrived, and she came in after 5 minutes. And she entered the class, and she sat in the class, and the lecturer was in a very bad mood that day. Very bad mood. Many students were coming late, and this girl was also one of them. And everybody was sitting, and he was really irritated for some reason. Upset, irritated, and angry. Okay, all these moods were emoted. Okay, that's what he felt. And you know immediately he started his class. After 2 or 3 minutes, or maybe 5 minutes, he asked a question to all the students. And he immediately remembered this girl who was sitting in the second row. She came late to the class, so she just said, you over there sitting there, please stand up and answer this question. She said, what, sir? He repeated the question. Come on now, you answer this question. And she said, I'm sorry, sir, no English. She wanted to communicate that I cannot understand. And this really infuriated the lecturer. I don't know, you people, from where do you come? You come to such reputed colleges and you can't even understand English, and you spoil the name and fame of such reputed institutions, and you are wasting my time and energy. Why am I teaching to such people who can't even understand what I'm teaching? So he went on and on and on, and this girl was standing there. She is not even able to understand what the lecturer is, scolding her. But she's able to make out that, yes, he is very angry, he's very upset, and he is very, very, scolding me in all the words, but not exactly, she's not able to understand the exact meaning of all the words. She just stood there and she started, crying. Tears were flowing down, and everybody in the class, it's always like this. When somebody else is taking they are becoming the scapegoat, all your friends sometimes tend to make fun of it. And they feel internally, thank God, I am not there in her place. I am not there in his place. So they are all safe. They have escaped from that situation and they're looking at this girl. They are laughing internally. They're making fun of her. And that is how the atmosphere of the class is. And this girl is crying continuously. Now, immediately after the class, she silently went back to her hostel and she did not come for any other classes. The next day, her friends just could notice that she has not come out of her room the entire day. And they went and knocked on her door and there was no answer. I'm sure you can imagine what has happened, right? The girl has committed suicide. She could not bear that insult. She could not take it anymore. She was already depressed and dejected from within. And now, more so, when it was, when she was humiliated in front of everybody, she could not take it anymore. And she felt her life was meaningless, was worthless, and she ended her life. Now, how many of you, after hearing to the story, think that it was the mistake of the lecturer who scolded her? How many of you think it was the mistake of the lecturer? Type agree in the chat box. Yeah. Do you think the lecturer, whatever he did, he was doing it intentionally? He really wanted, to humiliate that girl. And his intention was, to kill that child? Definitely no, right? Nobody will do such a thing. But then what went wrong? The choice of words. The choice of words at that particular moment, because he was angry, because he was upset, because he was irritated, he could not think and make the right choice of his words. So now, do you understand the importance of thinking and making the right choice of words? It will cost someone's life, my friends. And this might have happened to many of us. If not life, like sometimes without thinking when we blurt out certain things. Yeah. It might be with our own parents. We fight, we argue, we just blurt out. Blurt out is suddenly saying something without thinking. So when you do that, and once you are cool and calm, you go back and think, was it you who said all those words and hurt your parents? Was it you who hurt your friend? And it was not intentional. You'll be feeling bad about it. How bad about it? How many of you have experienced this? You did not actually do it intentionally, but it was at the spur of the moment. Without thinking, you were speaking. Type I in the chat box. Thank you. Thank you for being honest. Honesty is the best policy. If you are honest about yourself, if you are able to understand about yourself, then definitely there is scope for improvement. Isn't it? If there is clarity about the problem, then there is every reason for you to adopt the solution. Very good. Very good. Thank you, my friends, for being honest. It happens to all of us. Not only you, not only me, it happens to everybody. So let us develop this habit of thinking. It's a powerful tool which God has given to us. No other animal has this capacity. So think and speak. Think and speak. Make it a policy. Practice this, my friends. Anything comes with only practice. Okay? If you want to speak well, if you want to think properly and then speak, if you want to read well, if you want to write well, all these things comes only with practice. Okay, so practice to think and speak. Every time you want to speak, pause, hold back for a second, think, what are you going to speak? And then you can speak. Slowly, this habit of yours will become, a general thing. You will get used to it. You will not take that pause anymore. All right, so let's go back to our slides. I just wanted to tell you that story about how thinking becomes very important, very essential. And now comes to listening. Listening is another beautiful art. Okay. The only thing which we have to do to develop our listening skills is to stop talking. Now tell me, my friends, how many of you keep listening to others just to respond or just to react what you want to tell next? When the other person is talking, you are thinking that what you should speak next. How many of you agree with me? Listening to the opposite person just because you want to speak next and you are thinking in your mind what to speak next, what to speak next. And I'm sorry, that is not listening at all. And if you are not a good listener, you are not a good communicator. Leaders are always good listeners. And if you want to become a good leader, then definitely you have to become a good listener. And how to develop your listening skills? The first and foremost rule is stop talking. While the other person is talking, listen. And definitely it is very much different from hearing. Okay? Hearing, for example, we hear to a lot of noises. Even right now, while you're sitting in my class, you might be hearing to a lot of sounds around you, right? That is not listening. But you are listening to me because this is something relevant to you. This is something beneficial to you, right? Listening is absorbing, taking it deeply. You respond to me. When I ask you a question, you type me the answers. That is listening. You're absorbing everything. You're interacting with me. And every human being will feel very nice if they have good listeners as friends. I'm sure there wouldn't be suicides at all if we all would have become good listeners. Most of us listen to talk. So come out of this habit. Be a good listener to absorb things, to ask questions about what the opposite person is talking, not about what you are thinking. Okay, of course, there are lots of tips, and listening is an altogether very wide topic. We can deal about it for hours together. But for the moment, let me throw some light that listening is one of the prime most tool to become a good communicator. Okay, and you know what, my friends, listening is very difficult. To talk is easy, but to listen is very difficult. In a classroom environment, if you have to sit and listen from morning to evening, that is the most difficult part. And I should appreciate each one of you for doing so, because listening requires a lot of energy. You need to align your body, mind, your thoughts, your concentration. Everything has to be aligned. That requires a lot of energy, and that comes only with practice. So I would recommend all of you to do a small exercise every day so that you can develop your listening skills. You know, every day, probably for 5 or 10 minutes, listen to your favorite songs and write down their lyrics. So do not just hear to the song, listen to the song. Music is something which is close to a human heart, right? It doesn't need a language. Anybody and everybody loves music, I'm sure. So that is why I'm recommending that listen to a song, any of your favorite songs. It can be Hindi songs or English songs or Telugu or Kannada or any song of your choice, of your language. Then write down the lyrics of those songs so that you will have more clarity on what you're listening. You'll be able to concentrate better. Okay, so this will enormously help you to develop listening skills. Will you do that? Yeah, will you start doing this exercise? Don't you think it's fun? It's not difficult at all and it will not take much time. Yeah, can you do that? Type yes in the chat box.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Speaking again comes with practice. Okay, speaking again comes with practice. There are lots of tools which we can develop. Yeah, every day, if you want to develop your speaking skills, you need to talk to people. Do not hesitate. But before you talk, have a plan in your mind. Think and talk. While you're thinking, listen. So all these, you can see these 4 circles. So all these are working together and they all collide with each other. They have to be done parallelly. And there is a catch at the end of this. And of course, we'll come to non-verbal. We also call that as body language, right? I'm sure you all have heard about it. I'll give you more tips on that. For the moment, let me tell you one secret. Shall I reveal the secret? Are you all interested to know the secret?
Yes, ma'am.
Where do you want to stay? Now, there is a sweet spot. Okay? That is at the center of all these circles. If you are thinking well, if you are a good listener and a good speaker and you have very good body language, then excellent. You are in this sweet spot where it is the congruence of all these circles. That is when you will become an effective communicator. Nobody can stop you from becoming successful. So how many of you want to stay in the sweet spot? How many of you want to enter the sweet spot where that is the congruence of all these circles? How many of you want to get there? I'm sure all of you want to be there, right? And for that, you need to do some hard work. Nothing comes easily, right? You need to put your hard work, you need to put your efforts, and you need to be determined for that. Now, when you look at this slide, what do you think the monkey is doing? Type it in the chat box. What do you think the monkey is doing? The monkey is, right, thinking. Okay? It might be thinking about 100 different things. You know, what happened to all the people? You know, nobody is visiting us these days. Where are all the humans? Where are they lost? Or it might be thinking, what about my kids? Where have they gone? I'm not able to find them. Or it might be thinking, what am I going to have for my lunch today? Will I have bananas or will I have peanuts or will I have something else? It might be thinking 100 different things. But this monkey is representing thinking. Okay, so choose your words wisely because once spoken, you can't take them back. Again and again, I'm stressing on the fact about thinking, as I told you in my previous story, because your effectiveness starts from there. Okay, be a good thinker. You have to practice that. That is when it is possible. I'm sure you'll do that. When you see this picture, I'm sure you can make out how to be a powerful communicator. That will be your question. You know, I want to be very good in communication. I want to improve it. I want to be successful. I want to gain the job. You know, all interviews, they ask about communication. I really want to be a powerful communicator. But how is that possible? While you're talking, if the opposite person is thinking about what the other person is talking, then definitely you're not a powerful communicator. Yeah, that's what this picture is representing. If the opposite person is not sure, is having question marks, doesn't have clarity about what you're speaking, then that shows you are not an effective communicator. You need to improvise. And it's always good to improvise, isn't it, my friends? So we have understood the concepts of how to become a powerful communicator. And now I told you that about non-verbal skills, I'll come to it. So it's all about body language. Now, without speaking, you can still be a very powerful communicator. So many times it happens to us. We do not know this person, a complete stranger. But as soon as we see him or her, we tend to develop a feeling. I don't know, I'm not sure, I don't like that person. You don't have any reason, you don't know that person, you haven't even spoken to them. But still you will be saying this, I'm not sure why I don't like. It's the body language. Or if someone, a complete stranger, will just pass by and give a smile at you. You will start liking that person. It's the body language, right? So please develop a positive body language that will exhibit your confidence, that will show you are a powerful communicator. Now, while you're sitting, don't slouch. Don't slouch your shoulders. Okay, sit straight. Sit straight as if you're a leader. Okay, keep your back straight and have that posture. When people look at you, they have to, sit straight. They should feel like sitting straight. Okay, always maintain a straight posture. Keep your back straight. And when you give a handshake, let it be a firm handshake. If it is not firm, it shows that you are not confident. Okay, give a firm handshake. And even when you stand, have a straight posture. Again, don't slouch your shoulders or don't bend your back. All these will actually give a wrong message to the opposite person. It will give a different image about your personality, that you are a person with less confidence. Do you want others to feel about you like that? Not at all, right? Nobody wants others to feel that we are less confident, right? So always maintain a straight posture. Maintain eye contact, which is very, very important. People tend to look at so many other places while they speak rather than looking at the opposite person. That is a very negative body language. Always maintain eye contact. Okay, look into the eyes of the person while you are speaking. Easy, important, very effective. Okay, and smile whenever possible, as I told you. It is the most beautiful ornament you can wear on your face. Smile while you approach someone. Have a smile while you're talking to someone. It will give a pleasing appearance and it will show that you are a very confident person and you carry yourself very well. Yeah, very positive personality. Avoid fidgeting. Do you understand fidgety? Doing the same things again and again. Some people keep scratching their ears or keep pulling their fingers or keep pulling their ears. They keep doing the same thing again and again and again. That is being fidgety. Stop doing that. Avoid doing that. Again, that will show that you are being nervous. You lack the confidence. You have that anxiety in you. So don't show your nervousness by being fidgety. Avoid doing that. And again, practice not doing so if you have any kind of fidgety nature. Correct hand movements are important. It has to be appropriate. You cannot stand or sit stiff and speak to others. You can't be very rigid, nor can you be like too much of moving around. You can't keep moving your hands and your body and your eyes too much, right? It's not a drama or a dance. You need to have the appropriate movement of your body and hands. Okay, that again comes with practice. Show interest. How can you show your interest? Maybe having a smile or asking questions in between or giving a nod. Yeah, giving a nod is a very good sign of being a good listener. You don't have to speak anything. We're talking about body language, right? Just giving a slight nod is a very good sign of positive body language. Of course, be polite by giving a handshake or that smile or nod, and leave on a positive note. When you follow all this positive body language, of course, it gives that positivity vibes to everybody. These are some of the tips you can follow in setting right your body language. If you're lacking some of these, then you can make some corrections. If you already have all of this, then it's wonderful. You're already in the path of becoming a future leader. Okay, here I have put down certain reasons for lack of confidence in communication. It's very important to identify the reasons. Why are we not able to communicate well, right? The first thing is, yes, this is actually my personal favorite, and this is very, very right. Lack of subject knowledge. When you do not have knowledge about what you're talking, then definitely you cannot be a good communicator. You will not have that confidence to communicate, right? So you have to research well. You have to have good understanding. There has to be a thorough knowledge about what you're speaking. If it's general talks, it's fine. But if you're talking about particularly something, then yes, subject knowledge is very vital. Okay. Lack of language expertise. This again, most of them face it. I have very good subject knowledge, ma'am, but I do not have language expertise. So it's very important for you to hone your language skills. And English being a global language, it's very important, very essential to speak in language, English language fluently. Okay, so develop your English language skills. And we have an academy called Self Academy, which stands for Speak English Language Fluently. Here we have been teaching English in a very different way, in a practical methodology, where we help you develop English fluency within 1 month. Okay, so if you are really interested in developing your fluency, you can join our academy, take up the course and become a fluent English speaker, because English is a global language. You need it. It's a language of the internet. So you have to learn it. Lack of communication skills. Well, yes, I have good knowledge in English, ma'am. I can understand very well. I can read well. I can write well. But when it comes to speaking, I'm not very good at it. So though you have subject knowledge, though you have language expertise, it's again very important to put across those words in a beautiful way. So you need to have speaking skills, good communication skills as well. That again comes with practice, my friends. Every day you need to speak. If not with someone else, you have to speak to yourself. Stand in front of the mirror, start speaking to yourself, pick up a topic. And this is our famous mirror talk, which I keep advising to everybody. It's called the mirror talk. Stand in front of the mirror. You can look at your body language. You can look at your expressions, pick up a topic and start talking to the mirror. Start practicing on your own. Don't complain that I don't have an English environment. I don't have anybody to talk to. You don't need to have all of this. You can still do it if you're alone. Okay? Do this mirror talk practice. It will help you enormously to develop good speaking skills. Okay? Lack of thinking ability. It's not that we don't know how to think, but we don't have the willingness to do it. As I told you in my first saying, in my first quotation, the first slide, it's a choice you have to make. And if you can make that choice, that yes, I'm going to develop this ability of thinking, before I speak, then yes, that will make you a wonderful communicator. So these are some of the things which will actually make you feel that you're not a good communicator. And finally, lack of self-esteem and courage. Yes, you're so scared. You don't feel good about yourself. You don't have that courage to speak up. So you have to overcome those inhibitions, and that comes with practice. The only way to face fear, the only way to overcome fear is to face it. Yeah, let me repeat it. Please make a note of it. It's very powerful. The only way to overcome fear is to face it. The more you're scared to speak, the more you have to try speaking. That is the only way to overcome that. Okay, that will boost your self-esteem. That will give you abundant courage. And finally, let's understand that words can inspire, words can destroy. So choose your words. It's all about the choices you make. Take that small pause. If you don't feel like speaking continuously, there's no need for you to speak continuously. You can always take a pause. People will not assume anything bad about you. It's okay. It's okay to pause. Think and then speak. Maybe you really want to talk negative to someone, just take a step back. Hold back yourself. Take a small pause. And then you speak. I'm sure it will create wonders. If you practice this for 1 full week, my friends, I assure you, it will give you phenomenal results. You can see people looking up to you. They look up to your personality. Wow, I want to be like him. I want to be like her. The way she carries her personality, the way she communicates with me in such a polite way. And that comes with practice. So try and practice that, making a choice of your words. And when can you make a choice? When you think, right? So develop this thinking ability. Before you say something, stop and think how you would feel if someone said it to you. That's the mantra. That's the bottom line. Okay, I'm saying this to her. what if that person had said the same thing to me? Would I feel fine? Would I feel okay? Or would I feel really sad? Then let me not do that. That's the best way to avoid being hurtful, right? This is the powerful secret for effective communication. Slow down. Slow down. It doesn't mean like, if you are a very good communicator, you have to keep speaking, go on and on. That's not true. Just slow down. It's okay to pause. It's okay to speak slowly as long as you are speaking effectively. You are speaking convincingly. Okay. So please slow down. You don't have to be fast. Pause and pace. So keep a check on your pause and pace. Pace is the speed of speech, and pause is taking that small breaks. So if you keep a check, if you practice, if you get hold of these two things, then that is the secret to effective communication. It is so simple, isn't it, my friends? I'm sure you all are aware of this. It's all about implementing it. The only difference between failure and success, between a loser and winner, is implementation. The loser knows it all. The loser, the attitude of loser is, "Are yaar, mujhe to pata hai. I know it. I know it." That is the attitude of loser. Lekin, a successful admi, one successful person, he knows how to implement what he knows. To start implementing. The slight difference, the slight shift in your mindset. Rather than I know it all too, I will do it all. Okay? Implement it. Keep calm, be firm. Keep calm. Don't get nervous. Don't get fidgety. Okay, don't get anxious. And when you are nervous, you speak very fast. It happens automatically. So stay calm. And how to stay calm? Yes, there are various techniques. Okay, and when you're calm, be firm. Stick to your points. Believe in what you're speaking. Be honest. Be genuine. Okay, then you will be an effective communicator. Well, this is a very powerful saying. Please read it loudly, friends, wherever you're sitting. Success is no accident. People just don't get lucky to become successful. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of perseverance. Consistent practice is perseverance. Learning. Learning is such a beautiful word. Take out that L from learning. What is it? Earning, right? So if you want to earn well, then learn well. Learning leads to earning. Okay? Learning, studying, sacrifice, yeah, and most of all, love for what you are doing or learning to do. You have to do it with love and passion if you want to be successful. Only with all these ingredients, you get the final product success. So do not believe if somebody tells you that, "Arey yaar, wo to lucky hai, isliye successful ban gaya, bada aadmi ban gaya." Success is no accident. It comes with all these ingredients. So all the best to all of you, my lovely friends. I'm sure you will take the key elements, the secrets which I have shared with you, and you will start implementing it, because I want each one of you to be successful. I want you to be an effective communicator. It's not that difficult, and it's not easy as well, right? There's a saying which says, staying poor is hard. Staying poor is hard. But you know what? Staying rich is also hard. Staying rich is also hard. Both are hard. Which one do you want to choose? In the same way, if you want to be a poor communicator, yes, it is hard for you. You will not taste success. If you want to be a successful person, it is hard for you. But which one do you want to choose? Both are hard, right? I'm sure you'll make the right choices. All the best. All the best to each one of you. I'm sure there were some major takeaways. So if you think this session, these tips which I shared with you was useful to you, then type yes in the chat box and you can communicate with me. If you have any queries, if you want to ask me anything, yeah, please go ahead.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, I found it very useful, first of all. I just got two questions in some of the presentations you presented to me. So first of all, it was like you told me means that first think and then speak. Okay. So what if I am angry? I think that it is not good to express my feelings, and these feelings are stuck within me for like periods and periods. So like it would be outburst at certain point of time. So how to deal with these kind of situations?
Wow, Meher, that's such a beautiful question. It's a very good point that you brought about. Okay, let's imagine an incident that you are angry, okay, and you don't want to express yourself in that anger. But there is a choice. There is a choice. You can be firm. You can say, you can express it, communicate it very clearly. Right now, I am angry. I am not feeling like speaking anything because if I speak now, I would be hurting you. So let us take this discussion after some time. Let us discuss about this after a while when I'm feeling better. And you can leave the scenario for some time, go out, go for a walk, take some fresh air, or just listen to some music or whatever calms you down. Whatever calms you down, that only you will be knowing, right? Or if you want to talk to another friend, if you want to share that, whatever you're angry about, do all those things which will calm you down, and then come back to the scenario, come back to the person whom you want to talk to, and deal the same issue. You will get better results. What do you feel,
Yeah,
Meher?
yeah. I could try that.
Yes, please express that you are angry, not in your behavior but in your words.
Yeah. And I also have second question. So recently I read a book by an FBI agent who wrote this. It was what everybody is saying. It's on the non-verbals that you just taught us. So it was like in a party recently 1 week ago. I went and I observed that I was giving some non-verbal clues which were like negative, but I couldn't do anything about it. So I just thought that how could I improvise? So could you just give some suggestion on which some negative clues of what we are expressing could be reduced?
Okay. See, then you need to have a clear understanding about what is negative body language and what is positive body language. Now, according to you, what was your negative body language? Were you trying to be too rigid? What was it that you identified in yourself?
So it was basically like if you are having your fingers under the chairs or if you are sweating when you are speaking, these were the basic clues which I identified. So
Okay.
I thought that these were not as good. So how could I just improvise on my clues?
Okay, all right. See, generally, having a positive body language, the first and foremost and very simplest of all is having a smile. Though you sweat, okay, though you feel you don't want to speak much, having a smile, a general, gentle, genuine smile, okay, not laughing, that will give very positive vibes, okay. And also having a free flowing body language rather than being rigid. Of course, sweating doesn't come in body language because that's your physiology. Okay, that's an altogether different thing. That's your physiology. That's not your body language. So maybe you should have more clarity on your negative body language. When you have clarity on that, you can change it, you can alter it. But if you are open minded, if you're having a smile, and if you're ready to mingle with friends, if you're ready to open for discussion, then that's it. That's positive body language. And definitely sweating is not negative, because that's not body language at all.
I got some points. So I would just try of how to identify and I would just try to solve it. Like actually, I also learned this that sweating is not a negative body language, but after some point, like if you are in a cold environment, so it's basically if you are sweating too much, you are nervous or anxious. So I just thought, yeah, but it
Take a break. You can take a break, go out for some time, or be alone, and then recuperate yourself and come back to the scenario.
yeah, I got it.
You'll feel better.
Thank you.
All right, Meher. Anybody else? All right, then. I assume that there are no more questions. So shall we wind up with the session?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am, for this wonderful session. We really enjoyed and are enlightened with your knowledge and presence. And with this, we move to the end of today's session. Thank you, everyone, and have a great evening.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening.